This is problem 8-16 from section 8.1.1. Without a calculator, find two solutions between 0 and 360 degrees, which means just one time around the circle, that make each of the following equations true. So first one we have is cosine is 1/2. So that's positive. I know it's going to be on this side. And I could either have this angle right here, figure out what that is, or this angle down here. I have two possible outcomes. So what's important is to try to figure out what is the angle here. This is without a calculator. So this is 1/2. Okay? So across from that side is going to be the smallest angle. So this angle right here is going to be 30 degrees, because that's the smallest angle in our 30, 60, 90 triangle, and that's the one that has the 1/2 in it. And I know this is 90, so my angle that is going to possibly work is going to be 60 degrees, right there. And since that's my reference angle, I know that this angle right here is going to be 360 minus the reference angle, which means that's going to be 300 degrees. Okay, so 60 degrees would work, and 300 degrees would work for part A. For B, we have tangent of the angle is going to be -1. So tangent is sine divided by cosine. So I need one of them to be positive and one to be negative. So let's think both this direction, they're both positive, so not over here, and not like in this area. Over here, we have cosine is negative, but sine is positive. Now, we want them to be the same exact value, so that's talking about a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay. So this would be negative radical 2 over 2. This would be positive radical 2 over 2. And this angle right here, the reference angle, is 45. So I know this whole thing, this angle right here, would be 180 minus 45, which gives me 135 degrees. Could be one answer for part A. Now we also need to figure out where's another spot where tangent would be -1. So the same numbers, but they're opposite signs. Here we have cosine is negative, this sine would be negative, so that would not be a -1 answer, but here cosine's positive and sine would be negative. So if we have this triangle, we still know the reference angle was 45, I'll take 360 minus 45, which will give me 315 degrees is my second possibility. Okay? So remember, we're doing these without a calculator. You can check to make sure you're getting the right value. And if you're doing that, make sure you're in degrees, because we're considering degrees right here. Part C, we want the sine of an angle to be radical 3 over 2. So that would be the height. So this is a positive height, radical 3 over 2. Okay. And this could also be radical 3 over 2. Now we need to figure out what is the reference angle, and that will tell us what that is. This is middle of the road size, I guess, in terms of 30, 60, 90 triangle. This angle, this height right here is the medium-sized side. So this is going to be the medium-sized angle. So that angle is going to be 60 degrees, and that is the angle I'm looking for. So that's one of mine. Also over here, the reference angle is 60, so I'm going to take 180 minus 60 to tell me this angle is 120. Whoops. Okay, so those are our two angles that would give me a sine of the angle would give me radical 3 over 2. It's important to know these certain triangles so we can answer these questions quickly without referring to your unit circle. So I'd strive to do this problem without the unit circle. Okay, and this one we have cosine is negative radical 3 over 2. So negative means it's going to be on the left half of the circle, because cosine is negative over there, because I'm to the left of it. And it's going to be radical 3 over 2. So if I'm thinking about this triangle right here, across from this side is going to be 60. This side is going to be 30, because this one's obviously 90. So 30 degrees is my reference angle, but to find out what this whole thing is from here to here, I'm going to take 180, which would be halfway around, minus my reference angle. So 150 degrees is one possibility. That gives me a cosine of negative radical 3 over 2. And also it could be down here. Cosine's still the same value. Okay? So this is still my reference angle of 30, so I'm going to take 180 plus 30. I went past 180, I went 30 degrees past it to get here. So that one's going to be 210 degrees. Alright, so those are your two values. Again, it's important to double check these if you would like to on your calculator, but do not do the original question with your calculator. These are very important numbers. This radical 3 over 2, 1/2, 1, and also if it was radical 2 over 2. That's also very important, very special numbers because of our right triangle relationship. So you should start getting familiar with knowing those sides. Drawing the circles out is not a problem at all, but I'd encourage you to not do this with a calculator, specifically since it says that.